I'm midierror, and I'm going to show you today how to use Renoise, which is a DAW which I've been using for in excess of 10 years for a number of reasons. It's a bit of a mystery to a lot of people, and it looks really high-tech and weird to new eyes, which we've all been in that position at some point. So let's quickly skim over what you've got here. This is your main track here. This is the main thing that's happening. We're not going to use some of these tracks actually. We're only going to use 4 of them. So let's take out here. We've got 4 tracks here. We've got a master and a send. Pretty straightforward. If we go to the mixer view, you should be pretty familiar with how that's working. We are going to chuck in a break. So these are all in the Renoise library, in the breaks folder. We're going to chuck in a break such as this one. Okay, you can press escape to stop the preview. Now, every single sample and every single thing within Renoise is going to be mapped across your keyboard. So I've loaded in, I've double clicked it, and it's loaded into instrument 00. This section here shows you the instrument. These are all the things that you will select to be playing, and everything within your track that's making a sound is going to be up here, whether it's MIDI notes, MIDI instrument, whether it's a VST plugin, whether it's a sample or a loop. Everything's got to be up here, loaded into this section. So you can see we've got this break loaded in, and the beauty of Renoise is having it all mapped across your keyboard. I'm literally playing that with my computer keyboard. I don't have a MIDI keyboard with me at the moment. I'm just playing it with my fingers on the bloody computer keyboard. Bear in mind then there's going to be no velocity, but we'll probably look at that a little bit later on. So here's the break. Our tempo for the track here is 155 beats per minute, and what we want to do is make this loop fit our tempo, and how we do that is we go to this section here in sample properties, and you just click T there, and it's going to sync it to a 64 step pattern. Bang, T. So it's gone 5 semitones up, and it's gone 120 cents up, and now if we hit play, that's 155 beats per minute, and let's put a play note there and see if they sync. Good, they sync. That's a good feature, it's very useful. We could make it sync to, for example, 32, and it'll be doubly quicker, but we don't want to do that. There we go. So what you'll see here in this view is the MIDI note number and the instrument number next to it. So C4 is middle C and 00 is the instrument of that break. You can watch it play through, which is really cool. Okay, here is the pattern length. So we're going to make a really short pattern. We're just going to make it 32 steps, so it all stays on the screen and it's nice and simple. So this left-hand column here is a note column. If you want to add more note columns, for example, if you're doing something polyphonic, you can just add as many as you want there. But we're just going to use one because this is just for drums. That's the note column. This is the effect column here. So these are ways of manipulating and modulating the sound by putting in specific letters, which you don't really need to remember, but there are just some key ones that are good to know. For example, B for backwards. We've put a B00 in there, and if you look down at the bottom, it tells you what you need to do, or what you've done, or what you need to do. B and something. Oh, let's put that in again. B and something is play sample backwards with a 00 or play it forwards with a 01. It will by default play forwards. So you'll see what's going to happen here is the beat's going to play and it's going to get to there and then swing backwards. Okay, let's watch that on the waveform. Okay, how about what we'll do is we're gonna just copy that note, and I'm gonna press Alt F11. Oh, what's going on there? Yeah, Alt F11, and we're gonna just pitch it down. So you can see the loop starting again here, and then it's playing an octave below. It's playing on C3, and then it's spinning backwards. So let's run that through. Cool. Okay, let's have a look at a couple other effects commands. We'll keep that pattern as pattern 0. I'm going to press that to duplicate the pattern, which is a nice feature, and we're going to stick it on loop mode, so it's just going to stay on one pattern. Let's have a look at just chucking in a few of these sort of at random. Let's see what happens. Okay, sort of sounds quite good, doesn't it? But all we're doing is triggering from the beginning every time. Right, so this is the way Renoise gets really good, is you can chop up a beat and trigger it at different times, select the sample start point, and really start to fuck about with it. Okay, and so the way that this is chopped up, you can see these units along the top here. It says 0, 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, A, 0, B, 0, C, 0, D, 0, E, 0, F, 0. Okay, so the way Renoise works is it uses hexadecimal. So it doesn't count data in the same way that you would expect, like decimal, like 10, 20, 30, 40. What we have is it goes 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, A, B, C, D, E, F, and then 1 at the beginning, and then 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, A, B, C, D, E, F, and then a 2 at the beginning, and so on. So we're counting in 16, and you can see that the loop is divided here into 16. So if we want to trigger on this snare, for example, if you want to trigger on that snare, it's 10, isn't it? So we're going to use an effect command, which is S, which is the start time. S 10. I'm going to copy these and put them all into that part, and let's hear what that sounds like from kicking off with the snare. Cool, hey? That's good. How the hell would you do that in another program? So let's copy that again, and what I'm going to do is just put in some totally random numbers here. I'm just going to stick to the numbers. So what you'll see is when I press a number, it moved 4 steps down. Then this is where this little handy thing comes in, which chooses how far the steps go once you've pressed the button. So we want it to go 3, which is 1, 2, 3. So I'm just going to type in 5, 3, 2, 7, 8, 1, 1. And that is a random selection of numbers from the first part of our sample, and let's see what that sounds like. Okay, that was largely unsuccessful. Let's put 4. Oh shit. Okay, that's C5. Okay, right, so we're going to put in C4000, and then I'm going to put in some random start points here. So let's do A, C, D, E, F, 4, 4. So you get the idea with that. That 3 sounds weird, doesn't it? Let's put that backwards command in here. So remember that, we just press B and it goes 0, 0. So then we're going to trigger from each of these start points with a backwards bit half. We're near the end. Okay, we're nearly done with that. That's just showing you how to do it. Now I'm just duplicating the beginning a bit here, so we're going to have a bit of a roll. Okay, now we're going to look at the velocity column, which is right next to it. Because I'm triggering with the keyboard, we're not getting any velocity. You can set the keyboard to have a velocity if you like, but I like to not do that because I like to input it manually if I need it. So we're going to put a 2 in here, a 4, and we should change that to 1 so it only goes down 1 step after I've pressed the number, and 8. So again, these are hexadecimal values. You can see in the bottom it'll tell you that the volume and velocity goes up to 7F from 0, 0. So what should happen is we'll get a little kick roll there at the end. So you can see I've also removed that note and it's now not playing backwards. Okay, let's move on. We're going to use a one-shot now. We're going to grab a one-shot bass part. Grab a one-shot bass part from One Shots. Okay, so I've got it on my keyboard. Okay, let's record that in live. So I'm just going to press record. It's going to run through. Now you'll see that that was quantized. So all of those notes have been quantized. There's a quantize setting here, which enables quantize, and you can set to how many notes it's going to snap, how close it's going to snap to. That's snapping to the nearest step. And it's running from, we're in pattern 3 now, it's running down, so we need to put loop on. So you'll see it's G3 and it's note number 2, and we can even watch that saw. Let's turn off the loop. I'm going to normalize that. Good, you can see. So let's name these tracks now. So we've got the break, and we've got the bass. And we're going to put in a kick drum there. So let's go to the kick drum folder, and we're going to get a nice kick from here. What should we go with? Okay, let's go with that one. So let's put it on instrument 4. Again, like with all the other sounds, excuse me, like with all the other sounds, they are pitched across the keyboard. So we're going to put this back to step number 4. 4 steps. I'm just going to put the kick in on C4. There we go. So that's the beginning. Saving the track there. Okay, that's the beginning of a bit of a track, isn't it? Now, let's go to the mix view, and in the mix view, this is where you would put like all of your sort of effects. And to get to your VST effects, you go to this button down here, and there are some native ones in Renoise. We're going to use the analog filter, and we're going to put the analog filter on the bass, for example. So let's just solo that. Put some drive on it. So all of your VST plugins are here. You set the VST plugin root folder in the preferences, and they're all there. So what I'm going to do now is show you how to automate that. So let's copy that pattern. There are a few ways of automating it. One way is to click on the box right next to it. I'll do that again. It's this very hard to see button. And you can see we've got the cutoff there, so we can set this to open up. And you've got the option of having a curve and points as well, which is really useful for just sticking in some sequency sort of steps that don't sort of flow together. Let's stay with that. So we'll unmute the drums. And you can see what's happening there to the automation. I'm going to grab that filter, just hold down Control and copy it over to the break. And I'm going to flip it and use the high pass filter just to take the low end off that bass. Now if you want to do any spectral analysis, you can click up here. The selected channel will be shown, and the master channel in white behind it. Good, okay, so let's go to the kick then. We're just going to take down that a little bit. If you click the master channel, this is quite useful. You've got the groove settings for the master channel, and you can set your swing here. Now I tend to use about 15% pretty much all the time, but we'll just put it on 10. And like with any DAW, you can stick whatever you want on the master channel. If you want to put a bus compressor, you can do that. You can go through the presets by clicking up there. Let's just put mastering A. Now I would say that's compressing it a bit too much, so I'm just going to bring the threshold right up. Take the gain down a bit. Just going to bring more high pass on there, and maybe just drive that bass a little bit more. Good, okay, so that is how to set up a track quite simply in Renoise. I think that's probably enough for video number 1, and later on I will go through doing a few more cool things with your track. I'm midierror, thank you very much for watching, I'll see you again soon.